Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Thursday evening to you all. Hope you guys are feeling well out there, staying safe, and having a great ending to your Thursday and a great work week out there so far as we're a little bit closer to that weekend. I know for me, I have a very busy weekend ahead of me. My little girl, his birthday is February 5th, this coming Sunday. My oldest child, she'll be turning 8, so it's a very active weekend coming up for me and my family. We're going to do a lot of fun activities, so certainly looking forward to that. So I want to go and let you know I will not have a video. I will not have a video tomorrow evening. Most Friday nights I take a night off, so just to let you guys know, which shouldn't be a big deal considering the fact that I think that since we're moving past this ice storm finally, and by the way, today was really the last day of it. Really, this morning, tomorrow we will have a lot of melting that will go on for a lot of these areas that were struck with this ice storm, which, by the way, seeing these videos and these pictures deep in Texas, especially the Austin area, it seems like that's the area that potentially got hit the worst with just pure freezing rain. But some of these pictures and videos are just awful, just massive tree damage in this area. It kind of reminds me of the ice storm we got here in South Carolina and parts of Georgia in 2014 in February. But luckily we're moving past that, so to kind of go back to the Friday thing, it just doesn't look like there's going to be a ton to talk about going forward, except just day-by-day information. I am eyeballing a system sometime next week that I think could be dynamic, but it's just going to take that similar path that these storms have been taking, just due to the fact that we have ridging in the east and troughing in the west. So we'll talk a little bit about that towards the second half of the video and get as detailed as we can, which isn't very detailed at all. But I want to tell everybody, thank y'all for the amazing support. Thank y'all for the successful January. I had a lot of growth, a lot of views, even considering the fact that we didn't have anything wild in the southeast by any means. When in regards to winter weather, I didn't really have an opportunity to break down any kind of winter weather, any kind of winter storm for my folks here in the southeast, but still got views, still got growth, and I really appreciate every single one of you guys. I really do. So that being said, if you guys have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. It goes a long way. And if you guys got anything that I can pray about, please put it in the comments below. It gives me an opportunity to pray over it, and it gives others an opportunity to do so too. So let's talk about a couple things. The video is not going to be that long. As you can tell, there's not even, I don't have a ton of panels pulled up. There's just not a lot to talk about, but there is a couple things that we know is going to happen, and that is a pretty potent Arctic blast that's going to blast through portions of the country. Already doing so tonight, will continue to do so this evening. You actually got a blizzard warning in a few counties in far northern Maine. And it's not because you're going to get feet of snow, guys. It's more so just strong winds, blowing snow, and cold temperatures. And you could get a couple inches of snow. But like I said, this is more so just windy conditions with snow already on the ground up here. But wind chill warnings in this kind of weird whiter gray shade up here. And then you got wind chill advisories in the more lighter colors, this light blue color right here. Winter weather advisories up against the lakes, where you got this Arctic air still funneling over these not warm Great Lakes, but they're not frozen, so you can still pop off moisture off of them depending on the directional flow of the wind, and you can still get lake effect snow. And sure enough, you're going to get a mean snow squall that kind of goes through areas of the interior northeast overnight. We're going to talk about that right in the beginning of the video. But as you can tell, all these winter storm warnings, ice storm warnings, winter weather advisories are all of a sudden gone. So nothing out there. There's not even any lingering winter weather advisories for any kind of things that could refreeze overnight. So it just tells you that, you're going to get some rapid melt, even starting overnight into tomorrow. So we'll talk about this for you folks in the Northeast. I'm expecting a pretty intense snow squall overnight. In fact, you look at the radar out of Buffalo right now, and if you look right in this area, man, it kind of disappeared. Dang, that stinks. But anyways, there was some lightning right here in well west of Toronto in southeast Canada a few hours ago. But it's pretty wild. You actually have some strong winds moving through this area right now. I guess reports of some maybe some yard debris getting thrown around or something. But there's going to be an area of snow. I'll zoom out here. That's going to move through this area right into here, probably. Maybe more confined to this area. And there's going to be a pretty intense snow squall. I'm talking about you, Rochester, New York, down all the way to Syracuse, Watertown, Buffalo. You could get into this, and everybody in between. There's going to be a pretty intense area of snow, I think, that rocks through this area a little bit later this evening, a little bit later tonight. And we'll see if it drops a few inches of snow. And, you know, the HRRR model shows it well. It really gets amplified. I think Lake Ontario and Lake Superior helps to kind of boost this area of snow right here. But if you stop it right here, this is what, here in the next 2.5 hours, it shows a rather intense band of snow. I would not be surprised if there's a flash of lightning. Maybe you hear a clap of thunder out there. Wouldn't be surprised one bit, but this could drop a few inches of snow. It'll blast through areas of the interior New York State, maybe even get as far south as areas of northern Pennsylvania. And we'll see, you know, by the time we're getting into the middle of the night tonight, maybe a snow squall tries to move through like Scranton, Pennsylvania sometime overnight. So you might wake up with a dusting of snow on the ground. But this really gets eaten up by, looks like, dry air as we get into the overnight hours, and then just dissipates altogether. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little bit of ocean effect snow somewhere off Cape Cod, Southeast Mass, somewhere out here as we're getting into tomorrow, when bitterly cold air quickly surges into the area. So we'll definitely see that. But, you know, snowfall amounts, a few inches of snow can fall from this squall. It really could. You know, thankfully it's not going to move through the middle of the day, you know, or anything like that. It's going to move through later this evening into the overnight hours. So, you know, most people will be kind of in their house and, you know, not out and about. But this could drop a few inches of snow in areas of western New York State and Erie. This could really get kind of enhanced off the lakes right here. So, you know, from Erie to Buffalo, Watertown, Syracuse, Rochester, certainly could get, you know, 1 to 4 inches of snow, just depending on where you are. It's even showing some snow for you folks in Northeast Ohio. Could be snowing in those areas already right now. I didn't even look. But check out this as this cold air funnels in to the Northeast. All right, you'll stop it right now. You know, it's already pretty cold in the Northeast, but man, it goes from cold to bitterly cold. We'll stop it right here. It's about 1 a.m. in the morning. Suddenly, you'll go to sleep, and it might be, you know, in the upper teens and 20s in northern areas of New York State. By the time you're getting into about midnight, 1, 2 a.m. in the morning, it's done dropped about 20 to 30 degrees, and it's about 5 to 10 degrees below zero. Okay, and you're gonna go to sleep tonight like this is just a regular winter evening. Then you're gonna wake up tomorrow, and it might be negative 20 degrees. Okay, so rapid drop tonight. Rapid. This is a quick moving, really just a punch of Arctic air that's going to move in and move out. I mean, look at Michigan. Really cold in Michigan overnight. This is even cold for you guys. Okay, you know, you're going to go to bed just normal winter evening, like I said. And then wake up tomorrow morning, and it is going to be freezing. In fact, you'll probably get some quick freezing up of the Great Lakes, and then they'll probably thaw out very quick next week. As more than likely, we will probably warm right back up tomorrow for the eastern U.S. But waking up tomorrow morning, you know, you'll wake up pretty cold on the I-95 corridor, but temperatures will actually drop during the day in certain areas. And, you know, check this out. This is midday tomorrow. You're 15, 20 degrees below zero in Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, and areas of upstate New York up here in the Adirondacks and things like that. Binghamton, you know, midday tomorrow, you might be below zero. Okay, northern areas of Pennsylvania, you're probably below zero or in the single digits. Okay, you drop the temperatures. This will be, let's see, Saturday morning, you're waking up and you're probably, I don't know what your forecast low in Boston is, but I can almost guarantee you it'll be below zero. It's a weird kind of setup. You know, if you actually look at the HRRR model, it's saying, you know, 10 degrees below zero for Boston is a low Saturday morning. All of southern New England well below zero. New York City around 0 degrees is a low temperature Saturday morning. But look at these low temperatures for the interior Northeast. Anywhere from air temperatures, anywhere from 20 to 30 to 35 degrees below zero. This is literally a piece of the polar vortex right over the Northeast. Okay, you look at the Euro as far as low temperatures. I mean, same kind of deal. It's pretty much right on par with the HRRR model. So bitterly cold temperatures, and these are wind chills, guys. Look at these wind chills. Waking up tomorrow morning, wind chills are 30 to 40 degrees below zero in these areas where the Arctic air mass has really truly already gotten in place. You're waking up to a wind chill of around 0 degrees in Boston, single digits in New York City. It is going to be bitter waking up tomorrow morning in the Northeast, guys. And then you look at wind chills, you know, at around, I don't know, 9 p.m. tomorrow night. I hope you don't have any outdoor activities because you're going to freeze your tail off. Boston, the wind chill is negative 25 degrees. New York City, the wind chill's, negative 5, negative 10 degrees. Philadelphia, Baltimore down to Washington, D.C., wind chills anywhere from 0 degrees to 5 degrees. And look at these interior areas. Wind chills in areas of Maine will get as low as negative 60 degrees, guys. I mean, it's cold even down here in North Carolina. So this will be the coldest probably period of wind chills right into this overnight, Friday night into Saturday morning. Okay, and then the air mass quickly flees. It quickly heads out. By the time it's Sunday, guys, I mean, it might be in the 40s in Boston. Okay, so very quick moving air mass. So going forward past this Arctic blast, the 8th through the 12th, the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, well above average temperatures predicted for the eastern U.S. I mean, same old story. I don't know what's going on with this winter. All I can say is La Nina. And typically that favors the southeast ridge and definitely favors it in February. So in my opinion, I'm not calling off winter, but in my opinion, I really think that La Ninas are normally front-loaded winters. So if we were going to get anything, I like to think that we should have got it in the first part of winter in the southeast, okay? But La Ninas are weird. From what I can tell, just based off the little that I know, just little old me, it seems like they favor more dumps of cold air, meaning they just unload all the cold air at once, and then it warms up rapidly. Okay, and it kind of just did that in the south central U.S., right? And they got the winter weather, and then it's doing it in the northeast. It did it back in late December around Christmas time. And then anything and everything in between is just above average temperatures. There's no real moderation or consistency, right? So to me, you got to get, if you want winter weather, you certainly don't want ice storms like you saw in Texas, but if you want winter weather, you got to seize the opportunity when you have these massive dumps of cold air. Okay, the 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook, still calling for above average precipitation, a little bit more above average, a little bit more of a chance of above average temperatures right in this area in darker green, but still calling for a wet pattern in the central and especially eastern U.S. Okay, you look at temperatures going forward, we all know about this punch of really cold air Friday into Saturday. Okay, it's even going to be cold. I will note, very cold temperatures into the southeast Saturday night. The Arctic air mass oozes all the way into the southeast. Okay, you'll be well into the 20s, all the way down into Atlanta, Georgia, Birmingham. You'll get into some teens in northern sections of North Carolina, Virginia. You'll be well into the teens. Okay, it'll be a cold day Saturday. Okay, it'll be, certain areas will struggle to get out in the 30s in the southeast for highs. And then, we'll get into Sunday. Look how quickly the temperatures are rebounding. For example, Saturday, okay, you're not going to probably get out the single digits in Boston for highs. Okay, and then by the time you're getting into Sunday, highs are probably, they might be pushing 50 degrees in New York City or Boston. That tells you how quick this air mass moves in and out. It's on out of here. Okay, nothing's locking any kind of cold air in. No kind of 50-50 low, nothing. So by the time we're getting to next week, 60s and 70s begin to dominate the South again. Okay, and look at this, 60s and 70s. It shows a little bit of a trough trying to set up in the central U.S., but next Thursday, 60s and 70s, even 80s returning for Florida. Okay, so the only thing I can see is maybe the chance for a cold front, a significant cold front, maybe in about 9 to 10 days for the South. And there will be a storm system probably around in that period, about mid-February, but that's pretty far out. So as far as storm systems, guys, what's the next system to talk about? Well, honestly, besides a little bit of a piece of energy that flies up here, and what's wild is, you go from literally the North Pole in areas of the Great Lakes to about 48 hours later being too warm for snow for areas of the Great Lakes. So, it's just fleeting patterns and just wild stuff in between. But this moves through, and then the next thing we'll watch is this system right in the middle of the work week next week. I think a low pressure will likely develop. There'll be snow on the colder side, potentially heavy snow, and then there could potentially be some severe weather on the warmer side. See how the low pressure develops and this almost goes due north? You're probably going to have a pull up of warm, moist air into the southeastern or deep south states. But the warm sector, we don't know how far north it'll extend. We don't know all that stuff. But I would not be surprised if this causes some severe weather across areas of the deep south. And then you're probably going to have an area of heavy, wet snow on the colder side of this. This moves on out. What's next? Who knows? It doesn't really matter because it's 8 to 9 days out, but there is a low pressure that develops here. But once again, it's too cold for most of the mid-Atlantic and Northeast. Okay, so, you know, we can look at that all day past 7 days, but it'll change about a million times. But I can tell you, I think that there is going to be a storm system next week, and this could deliver more snow for areas of the panhandle of Texas, Oklahoma, maybe Kansas, and it shows the kind of the same similar setup. Low pressure develops here, snow on the cold side, maybe severe weather down here, and this rides due north. And then another system develops about 8 to 9, 10 days out. And we just got to figure out what that one's going to do. I think there is a pretty solid storm signal at around the 12th, the 13th, the 14th range, maybe around Valentine's Day. I think we'll have something to talk about in that range. I just don't know what it's going to be. But that's all I got, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for sticking with me even in these slower times, because honestly, you know, the growth and the views in these slower times is what really truly means everything. Because the weather's going to, you know, go crazy sometimes. We know that's going to happen. But for you folks that still consistently watch, even when things mellow out and slow down, that means the world, especially when it gets over the summer, when the views really tank and things just really slow down, which is good and bad, because for me, I just I use that time to refresh and to get my energy back. But at the same time, you know, the growth of the channel slows down. So that's all I got. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'll be with you guys in the morning. God bless.